you join me as we say the opening prayer for this meeting. Shall we pray? Our Lord in heaven, we thank you for your goodness and mercy. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to live in a new year. We thank you for the energy that you've given us to serve and continue to trust you for the service today and tomorrow. I commit this gathering before you. May we be a blessing in whatever we're going to speak to the nation of Uganda. In Christ Jesus I pray. Ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year. I want to welcome you to today's press conference. A day ago, 2 days ago, we're here and the Honorable Minister promised that she'll be here, and I want to say she's here. When we were here on the 31st, she was giving you a briefing that was so tied to the electricity supply industry. Today, the press conference covers the whole Ministry of Energy and Minerals. So it's a full blast. For the reporters, you have lots of story to glean out of this. I want to imagine you can even write stories for a whole month from the update you're going to receive today, because it is a blast of very, very exciting news. And I want to promise one thing. Where you don't understand, look out for me for clarification. That's the end of my remarks. Without so much ado, I want to welcome the Chief Executive Officer, ERA, to address us.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony, the Honorable Minister of Development, Honorable Dr. Canon Ruthi Nankabirwa Sentam Sekuja, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, and your technical team, my colleagues. Before that, let me correct my protocol. The chairpersons of boards of the agencies within the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, the chair, ERA, singling you out for a specific reason that you are here to tell us the tariffs. My colleagues, the captains of the industry, the CEOs and your respective technical teams, generation, transmission, distribution, the team from ERA that I serve with. Happy New Year. Allow me to welcome you to this media briefing, of which the first part will be to do with the announcing the annual tariffs for the tariff year 2025. The Masters of Ceremony has already recapped that we are here on Tuesday, and again we represented the government and undertook a very critical activity of handing over the licenses to UEDCL that will be applicable come 1st April 2025. Honorable Minister, the year 2024 has been a remarkable one for the electricity subsector, with several wins registered across generation, transmission, distribution, as well as aspects of electricity regulation. Notwithstanding the several wins, Honorable Minister, the authority is not relenting yet. We remain committed to fostering a sustainable, self-sufficient electricity supply industry that supports Uganda's vision for total social economic transformation. And in pursuit of that, the authority has invested significant efforts in the design and overseeing the implementation of various initiatives through innovations to enhance affordability of electricity services in the country. In line with Section 9 of the Electricity Act, the Electricity Regulatory Authority is mandated to, among others, establish a tariff structure and to investigate tariffs and charges whether or not a specific complaint has been made. Chair, further, Honorable Minister, stakeholders, further to that, Section 75 of the Electricity Act states that the tariff structure and terms of supply shall be in accordance with the principles of tariff calculation and the terms of supply prescribed by the authority, taking into account the total revenue requirement of the licensees, and these are revenues that are supposed to be reasonable, but also taking into account reasonable rate of return. The tariff setting objectives are in line with the provisions of the Electricity Tariff Code, Regulations 2023. One is to provide customers with a fair and reasonable price structure consistent with the maintenance of financially and operationally secure electricity supply systems. The second one is to structure the costs reflected in the tariff in such a way as to encourage consumers to make efficient use of generation, transmission, and distribution assets. The other objective is to encourage operators, and these are the utilities that participate in the generation, transmission, distribution, sale, export, and import, to encourage them towards efficient use of the electrical plant and increase the operation efficiency based on financial benefits and penalties where they fail. Also, the other one is to encourage consumers towards efficient and economic use of the energy based on pricing signals. So those are the objectives that inform the tariff structure, and finally the end user tariffs that will be announced today. In Uganda, we operate an economic regulatory framework which is twofold. It is a hybrid. Takes care of the rate of return on investments that the licensees bring into the network during the course of the year, but also it is a hybrid together with the incentive-based regulation. Now, for the rate of return regulation, licensees earn a return on investment for investments implemented by licensees, approved at plan levels by the regulator, and verified by the regulator to ensure that they have been implemented according to standard, they are commissioned, they are in use and useful, and they are delivering value to the consumer. Those are the investments that utilities earn a return on, in line with the investment approval and verification regulations of 2020. In the incentive-based regulation, the licenses issued to the respective licensees contain tariff performance parameters. On 31st, we introduced the public to tariff performance parameters. We set targets. These include technical, commercial loss targets, the rate that you are supposed to collect, the revenue from the consumers, the distribution, transmission, generation, operation, and maintenance costs, target availability, the infrastructure, the generation facility, the transmission facility, the distribution facility must be available to meet the targets. And then the other standards are the minimum standards for quality of service, the responsiveness of the licensees, and the quality of supply, reliability, availability of the actual electricity or electrons. So these are the targets that are set. So once we set these targets, if you achieve them, you are happy. You even keep the benefit. If you don't achieve them, the consumer does not benefit, does not compensate you for the loss. Meaning the return on investment can only be achieved if you are able to meet the targets that have been set by the regulator. Honorable Minister, allow me to throw some light also on tariff categorization, because this is an area where the public has asked many times, Why are the industries paying this? Why are the domestic paying this? Why is the consumer paying this? The tariffs are categorized in line with Section 75 of the Electricity Act. And the basis for categorization is fourfold. One, based on the place and the time of supply. Some of you know use power at night, use power in an industry, and the tariff is relatively cheaper. They also categorized based on the quantity of the electricity supplied. Those tapping on high voltage, gasolers, the industries, the tariffs categories are different. They also categorized based on consumer load and the power factor for industries. How efficient, how much reactive power are you drawing, but also for the purpose of which supply is taken. So the tariffs that are going to be announced today, they constitute 8 categories. We have the domestic consumer tariff, that is code 10.1. We have the commercial consumers, that is tariff code 10.2. I will not go in detail because my remarks will be shared with you so that you are able to inform the public. If I'm a domestic consumer, what does it mean? You are tapping on low voltage, single phase, and you are supplied at 240 volts. All that information you are now going to relay to the public so that it's very clear. We also have the third one, that is medium consumer, but manufacturing. This is a new tariff category aimed at value addition, targeting the millers, targeting the agriculture value addition, targeting PDM. This is a new tariff category. It is code 20.1. Then we have medium customers or consumers, service industry. These are hotels. They are not in value addition, but they are in service industry. The tariffs are different, and pay kind attention when the chair is reading them out. Then we have the large industrial consumers, manufacturing. This is also a new now tariff category, responding to productive use of energy, value addition, minor value addition, PDM. It's a different tariff category. Then we have the large consumers service, that is code 30.2. And then we have the usual extra large industrial customer, code 40. And another new tariff code, that is public amenities, code 50. It is the first time it's going to appear in the history of the electric supply industry in this country. And this one is speaking to public amenities, street lighting, referral hospitals, that you are going to sell minus the targeted losses. These losses are inevitable. They only have to be optimized. But whenever a conductor, a wire is carrying a current, it warms. That is called heat dissipation, is a loss. What we do to set these targets is that we make them minimal and efficient so that they don't jeopardize the objective of that government has undertaken to reduce tariffs. One is that we went through the Jagali financing and the sustained tax waiver. This tax waiver, the CIT, corporate income tax waiver, goes towards reducing the end user tariff. We have also introduced reduced tariff pegged on demand growth. We set for you a target. When you achieve that target for demand growth, naturally your tariff reduces. The other initiatives is direct purchase of electricity from generation or transmission at high voltages, so that you omit all the warming, the heating, the losses that would have gone through the various transmission lines and substations. For example, we have data centers that are camping next to Karuma. So if you compare that and your Jaja in the village, the power just leaves Karuma and it is in the data center. So that is another effort by government to ensure that tariffs are affordable, as well as we make our goods competitive. Of course, the other one is increasing demand of electricity through ensuring that we spread. If we increase the demand of electricity, then we spread the fixed costs that we incur as a sector over many consumers, and therefore, naturally, we bring down the tariff. The other are incentives, for example, the cooking tariffs, as will be announced, both for domestic cooking as well as the institutional cooking. We have the lifeline tariff. We have the time of use tariff. I've elaborated that. Declining block, distribution and transmission efficiency through setting of the parameters, but most importantly, government investing publicly into the electric supply industry. In the recent past, we've seen government investing into Karuma and Isimba, and these came through with very low tariffs because of the low cost of financing, with the Karuma at 4.97 and Isimba at 4.2 cents per kilowatt hour. These are all initiatives to bring down the tariff and achieve affordability. There are other initiatives like the renewable feed-in tariff. The more you are transparent, the more you share this information, the more you improve the investment climate, the more you reduce the cost of financing and bring down the tariff. Honorable Minister, chairs, colleagues, the media, allow me to now take this opportunity. First is thank government. As you've heard my submission, never initiative I'm mentioning government is effort to support us to contribute towards the tariff reduction. So allow me to thank the government of Uganda through you, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, your colleagues, the Ministers of State, of Minerals and of Energy, the Permanent Secretary and the technical team at the Ministry, the boards of the government, MDAs, ministries, departments and agencies, specifically those in the Energy and the Mineral Development Ministry, my board, management and staff of ERA, licensees, very, very important, because when we do this and you are not able to implement, we fail together. When we do this and the licensees are not able to implement, we fail together. Of course, the electricity consumers are the reason that we are here, the reason that we wake up every morning, the public for the continued support that enables us to perform these respective delegated functions. And finally, through you, the Minister, to thank the Fountain of Honor, the President of the Republic of Uganda, for the support that we enjoy, that enables us to perform. With that, allow me now to take the pleasure to invite my chairperson of the Electricity Regulatory Authority, Dr. Sarah Wasagali-Kanabi, to announce the tariffs. Thank you very much.
The Honorable Minister of Energy and the Mineral Government, Honorable Dr. Canon Ruth Nankabira Sentamu, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, the Board Chair and Vice of the National Mining Company, the Board Chair of Power. I've seen the Board Chair of Electricity Transmission Company Limited, the CEO of UNOC is also present with us, the Managing Director Umeme, the MD UEDCL and UETCL, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Happy New Year. I'm pleased to welcome you back from the New Year's celebrations and to take this opportunity to wish you a fruitful 2025. I'm pleased to welcome you to this energy sector media briefing, the first in the year 2025, and to share with you the 2025 tariff review outcomes. Honorable Minister, I would like to thank you and your technical team for your continued policy guidance and support to the electricity subsector, which has enabled us to effectively and efficiently deliver on our mandate. Honorable Minister and members of the media, in line with the authority's mandate as enshrined in the Electricity Act, Chapter 157 of the Constitution, a key function of the authority is to determine the price of electricity per unit and other related charges. From September to November 2024, in accordance with the Regulation 18, subsection 2 of the Electricity License and Tariff Review Regulations of 2007, the authority received applications for tariff review for the year 2025 from the following companies. 1, Uganda Electricity Generation Company Limited, Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited, and Umeme Limited. Honorable Minister, Regulation 5 of the Electricity Tariff Code Regulations of 2003 calls for transparency in the tariff review process, and therefore, after receipt of the applications for tariff review for the year 2025, the authority published a notice in the New Vision paper dated 8th November 2024. We invited the public to review and submit representations and comments in respect to the applications for the tariff review. On the 12th of December 2024, the authority convened a public hearing at Margarita Palace Hotel in Irila City to further provide the public with the opportunity to take part in the tariff review process. The public hearing was attended by 893 participants, both physical and virtual. The participants included political leaders, electricians, small-scale industry operators, manufacturers, grain millers, members of the National Chamber of Commerce, the licensees, and the media. For the 2025 tariff review, these are the major assumptions we made. 1, electricity demand growth. The electricity demand is expected to grow at an annual rate of 10.4%, with energy purchased by UETCL increasing from 6,634.54 gigawatt hours in 2024 to 7,327.14 gigawatt hours in 2025. The second assumption is on Umeme Limited concession. Honorable Minister, Umeme Limited licenses and concession agreements for the distribution and supply of electricity will end on March 31st, 2025. As you recall, on the 31st, we issued licenses to UEDCL. The third assumption is the quarterly tariff review. The Electricity Authority will continue implementing the quarterly tariff adjustments based on inflation, exchange rate fluctuations, international fuel prices, and other approved costs by the regulator. Assumption 4 is on Karuma hydropower plant. Karuma was fully commissioned in August 2024. The plant will continue to contribute to 2025 generation mix. West Nile grid connection. In August 2024, the West Nile region was connected to the national grid, so they will add to the national demand. Exchange rate is another assumption. The Uganda shilling appreciated by 0.7% against the United States dollar, improving from Uganda shillings per dollar of 3,715.82 in Q4 of 2024 to Uganda shillings per dollar of 3,689.1 by November 2024. Assumption 7 is Umeme investments, capital investments. The investments qualifying for a return in 2025 are valued at US dollars 25 million, increasing Umeme's gross investments from 675.736 million in 2024 to 700.736 million in 2025. Bujagali Energy Limited tax waiver is another assumption. We assume that Bujagali Energy Limited's corporate income tax waiver will be renewed in June 2025. The tariff category updates. Honorable Minister, the CEO has already mentioned, we have the street lighting category, which has been replaced by the public amenities category, which the CEO has elaborated. It covers the street lighting, public hospitals, and institutions cooking, the prisons, the schools, the universities. We also have the medium and large industrial categories, which will be subdivided to distinguish manufacturing from service-based consumers. We shall continue implementing the declining block tariff. The declining block tariff structure will continue for large and extra large industrial consumers, and then the domestic cooking tariff will remain at 412 shillings per unit for consumption between 81 to 150 units per month. Therefore, for the approved end user tariffs for Q1 of 2025, following the reviews of the application and public feedback from the publication at the public hearing, the authority during its 419th meeting held on 18th December 2024 approved the base end user tariffs for electricity for the year 2025 applicable to the first quarter of the year 2025, that is from January to March 2025. The tariffs are as follows. A, the lifeline tariff. This will be 250 shillings for the qualifying domestic consumers, that is for the first 15 units. We shall have the domestic tariff. After the lifeline, it's now the domestic tariff, cost recovery tariff of 775 shillings and 7 cents per unit for other domestic consumers. The commercial tariff will be Uganda shillings 575 and 2 cents per unit. Medium industrial tariffs. For the manufacturing category under this, it will be 417 shillings and 8 cents per unit. Then under medium industrial tariff, for those who will be offering service, it will be Uganda shillings 434 and 5 cents per unit. The large industrial tariff. For the manufacturing subcategory under this, it will be Uganda shillings 351 and 5 cents per unit. For the service subcategory under this will be 367 shillings and 1 cent per unit. Extra large industrial tariff. This will be Uganda shillings 299 and 1 cent per unit. For public amenities, which include the street lighting, hospitals, institutions, cooking, and so on, it will be Uganda shillings 360 per unit. These tariffs represent a weighted average reduction of 5.2% compared to the tariffs of Q4 2024, reducing the cost of delivering electricity services by shillings 155 billion shillings. The notable changes. Thank you. The notable changes. Last year we reduced the tariff and the computation was about 40 billion shillings. So it's more than 3 times the reduction. The notable changes, the CEO has already highlighted some of them, is the recategorization of the industrial tariff of the medium and large industrial categories, which have been recategorized to separate those who are manufacturing from those who are delivering services. This is a key driver to the Uganda's socio-economic transformation. We created the public amenities tariff to ensure an affordable tariff for the public amenities that I've already enumerated. And this is our commitment to the environment, social and good governance, and the eligible consumers are encouraged to take advantage of this development to enhance social service delivery. The tariff rebasing post-March 2025, because the Umeme concession is ending in March and UEDCL is taking over in April. With the UEDCL taking over the electricity distribution on April 1st, 2025, the tariff structure will be rebased to reflect UEDCL's operational parameters, which are different from those of umeme. So during that quarter, the authority will new tariffs for UEDCL. Because UEDCL service territory will have expanded, the customer base will have expanded, and their unique investments will be different from umeme. So the authority will need a new economic regulation framework. As I come to the conclusion, permit me to thank you and your technical team for your continued service authority, to express our gratitude through you to the Head of State, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for his unwavering support and prioritization of the energy sector. So permit me now to invite the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, to invite you, Honorable Minister, to address the nation. For God and my country, I submit. The Honorable Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, the board National Mining Company, including the Vice Chair National Mining Company, and the board chairperson of the Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited, all the managing directors and CEOs, commissioners, and the technical teams here. I want to start by congratulating the Electricity Regulatory Authority. We continue reducing the cost of power. Now, this commitment is enshrined in our National Development Plan 3, where, as the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, we made a number of commitments. This National Development Plan 3 has run its cycle. It started in 2020-2021 and is coming to a close during 2024-2025. And in the National Development Plan 3, we made a number of commitments as a sector. On the electricity side, we committed to continue bringing down the cost of power. We committed to increase access to electricity to a target at the time of 60%, and the Honorable Minister will announce shortly that this has been attained. We committed at the time that we will also grow our generation capacity, including the commissioning of the Karuma hydropower plant, and the Honorable Minister will highlight that this has been achieved. And on the extractive side, petroleum and mining, we committed that we will commence and support value addition, and the Honorable Minister will highlight the strides we are making in this regard. We committed that we will march towards first oil production, and you will receive an update on where we are when it comes to the ongoing process of achieving production of our crude oil resources. Now, as we wrap up NDP 3, where we had 3 programs, the Sustainable Energy Development Program, the Sustainable Mining Development Program, and the Sustainable Development of Petroleum Resources, we are commencing a new journey with the guidance, of course, of His Excellency the President, but also Cabinet, and specifically led by our Honorable Minister. We have now developed the National Development Plan 4 that will run the cycle from 2025-26 to 2029-2030. And in there, our 3 programs have been consolidated into 2. So as the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, we will be implementing the Sustainable Energy Development Program, which remains intact, and the Sustainable Extractives Program, which consolidates mining and petroleum. And for each of these, under the National Development Plan 4, we have set new overarching targets. Under the Extractives Program, we have committed to increase exploration and quantification of our extractives, both the minerals and petroleum. So the Honorable Minister will highlight the efforts that we've already commenced on, especially including the opening up of new areas in the Kadam, Moroto, and Lake Choga Basin for petroleum, but also quantifying our minerals resources. We've also set another target under the extractives to increase utilization of the extractives, where we will highlight equally the strides we've started making in this regard. We've set a third objective under our National Development Plan 4 to increase investment in extractives and value addition. So value addition is going to be a cornerstone of the extractives industry as we enter our new cycle of the National Development Plan 4. But as we do this, the role of human capacity is extremely critical. So we've set an objective number 4, to strengthen human and local enterprise capacity to participate and develop the extractives industry. The Honorable Minister will highlight the strides we are making when it comes to national content on the petroleum side, but also the plans to fortify national content going forward for the mining subsector, but also developing our internal capacity as the ministry. We also set an objective number 5, which is largely to ensure cohesion within the sector. So we set an objective to strengthen governance, coordination, and innovation of the extractives industry. And these will be the 5 cornerstone pillars that guide the implementation of the National Development Plan 4 on the extractive side. Now, aligning with what the Electricity Regulatory Authority has just done, we equally set new targets for the Sustainable Energy Development Program. Number 1, we have given a target or committed to accelerate the development and diversification of the sustainable energy. And the Honorable Minister will highlight the diversification we want to see in our energy mix beyond hydropower, solar, and thermal, and what new energy resources we want to deploy. And this is largely meant to ensure our energy security. We also set a target to ensure that we modernize and develop our energy supply systems, focusing on the transmission and distribution, including strengthening our role in the region to become an energy hub through the East Africa Power Pool. And the Honorable Minister will highlight the projects that we have earmarked to strengthen our role in the region under the East Africa Power Pool. We also committed to enhance what we term as productive uses of energy and energy efficiency. And this is going to be very critical. Electricity Regulatory Authority already mentioned unique interventions such as data centers and others, the focus on the parish development model that we expect will enhance the productive uses of energy. And we set a 4th important target equally to strengthen the governance, coordination, and innovation for energy security and sustainable development. So, ladies and gentlemen, these will form the key targets and objectives of the Ministry of Energy, and we look forward to implement those with your support. So allow me at this juncture, without further ado, to invite the Honorable Minister of Energy and Mineral Development to highlight the achievements of the sector with a focus on the just declared electricity tariff, but also the plans for the sector for the year 2025 as she continues heralding and leading us. Thank you very much.
Do you need a break? Are we not over pumping you? I hope you don't need a break. Thank you so much. Please sit down. I'm standing on the protocol, as has been mentioned by many speakers. Let me also add my voice in wishing you Happy New Year 2025, and also thanking you for having turned up again. As we promised you on the 31st, when we stood here, we promised that we shall come and take you through what the sector has been able to achieve. This team you are seeing here, I wish I could introduce each one of them. This is my team, this is my army. That makes me proud. And I want to thank them so much. I will specifically introduce Mr. Sebugeni, who is the chair of the board of Uganda National Mining Company. That one. And the acting CEO, our own, Dr. Bernard. Yes, the CEO. Are there other members of Uganda National Mining Company? TYC, the vice, Mr. Biagaba, Mr. Biagaba, the vice. Those are going to be very, very critical as we talk about our plans for mineral beneficiation. The rest you know, but I wanted to specifically introduce those ones. But I can also introduce my CEOs, not because they are women, but because they make me proud. Prosco Vianabanja, CEO, Uganda National Mining Company Limited. Mama Tariff, CEO, Electricity Regulatory Authority. The Chief Whip in the Ministry, Irene Batere. The men, please don't say. The men are behind these great women pushing. They are the reason why we are performing. So it is going to be a long accountability that I'm going to give you, but it's going to be very interesting. You are not going to be bored. First of all, the sector is very wide, and for the reason. And I want to thank President Museveni for having kept the different sections in one ministry. We will give you what we have done on the electricity side. Electricity is very wide. It has the generation side, but even in the generation side, I'll have to mention the sources of this electricity. It is very important to know that we have clean energy. People talk about renewable, not knowing that renewable is the global narrative now. People are yearning to have renewable, their national grid supplied by renewable. And Uganda's national grid is almost 100% supplied by renewable. In electricity, there is a portion of transmission, which I will highlight, a portion of distribution. And it is very important to understand this, and I want to thank Zilia, the CEO, who has taught us. You can imagine this is what I go through every time. You know, learning the contributors to the tariff, you know, the different segments. What you have experienced this morning, I experience it every day because I have to understand the sector. So electricity is very wide. Then the mineral sector. I also mentioned something on the mineral sector, very wide. Then when it comes to the petroleum has upstream, midstream, downstream, you know. So you have to understand all that. And I pray that our media will understand it because you are our ambassadors to inform the rest. So my team has really spent time and to organize this communication. My role is to make sure that I simplify the communication. And I want to begin by appreciating the team, but also appreciating the president who has been guiding us. The president who has kept the sector together so that they feed from one another. We are integrated. What is it that the petroleum side is contributing to electricity side? What is it that the mineral sector is contributing to the electricity side? So there is that integration. And the president kept this sector that wide because of the need for this integration. So we appreciate the president. Let me begin now on the Sustainable Energy Development Programs. The Sustainable Energy Development Program seeks to meet the energy needs of the country by providing adequate, affordable, clean, and reliable energy for sustainable socio-economic growth and development. And I really thank ERA, the Electricity Regulatory Authority, for undertaking its statutory duties in a timely manner, including the determination of the 2025 annual tariff. As you've heard, I congratulate the sector on this significant milestone. The 5.2% reduction in the weighted average end-user tariff, as announced by the chair of the board, is not a mini achievement. Reducing from the 1.6% that we announced previously, which contributed to 40 billion shillings, as the chair mentioned. This is now 5.2. I hope Frank is here. There is somebody who asked a question the other day, Niwagaba, and I encouraged him to turn up today. I hope he's here. You know, you can't just reduce drastically and you expect the sector to remain, you know, standing. The regulator has told us what it takes. This money we are collecting, what do we use it for? This power we are distributing is supposed to be carried, supposed to be generated, carried, and fixed. But we are supposed to buy it cheaply. So balancing it is not easy. How I wish agatali konfufuluse ebeyi y'amasanyalaze yongedde okukka wansi bannayuganda basanyufu. That will be very, very good. Okay, I further congratulate the regulator for creating a specified or specialized public amenities tariff. This category is very important. Hospitals have been defaulting on payments, and the president gave a directive not to switch off hospitals. But the collector needs this money. You know, the barracks, police, how do you switch off police? How? How do we switch off UPDF? How do we switch off those important public institutions? So we hope that this time around, those institutions will pay us now that we are reducing the cost of power. So congratulations. I am hopeful that as we transit to cheap cost of capital for investments in the distribution segment following the end of Umeme concession, the tariff shall, not may, shall continue to reduce, starting with that of manufacturers to then to cross over other categories. It shall. Because we've been told the contributors of this tariff. And one of them is the cost of investment. So when you get cheaper cost, you expect tariff to reduce. On the electricity generation segments, I know that you know many of those big generation plants. We shall continue to talk about our big plants that have contributed tremendously to our capacity growth to 2,051.6 megawatts. We are coming from about 100 megawatts for the whole country. For the whole country. Chikumi Mwatan, 60 was the one that was being shared, available. The installed capacity was about 150 megawatts for the whole country, but the available one was just less than 100. That's what we were sharing. But now we are talking about 2,051.6 megawatts. This I cannot talk about in front of my president, of course. He will challenge me and say, "What are you? Compare yourself with China and those big." But Irakari, we are happy. All the same, we are happy that we are seeing Ugandans being the ones that are in the steering. You know, they are the ones driving. So when we get back to cabinet, I'll change my language. I will not be bragging about 2,500, 2,051.6. We have other smaller plants, like the one in Chigwabia, which is in Chikube, 4.2 megawatts. By the way, 4.2 is not that so small. It can power a big industry, even a whole industry. I remember in West Nile when we were still fighting to make sure that we connect them, consumption in that whole region was 4.2. It grew to 6 when we intensified, and I think now it is going to maybe 11, you know, but the national grid, which was so costly, was taken there. And the power was taken near them in a real substation. So consumption has to increase because we need to get money to pay for these loans that we secure to do transmission and other infrastructure. The ministry is further committed to completing several small electricity generation plants, such as Nyagak 3. Nyagak 3, I've been moving with you colleagues from the media fraternity almost every year. I visit Zombo to check on Nyagak 3, a 6.6 megawatt plant. I told you every bit of electricity matters. That 6.6, we expected to commission it this year, end of year. But we have to wait for the evacuation plan, the infrastructure to be completed. Otherwise, we will be incurring DMD energy. So that small transmission line is being constructed, and very soon, probably maybe this month of January or February, we shall see this commissioned. We have been mentioning big plants which are in pipeline for development. I've been mentioning Ayabo, 840 megawatts. I've been mentioning Oriang, 392 megawatts. I've been mentioning Kiba, 400 megawatts. All this is clean energy. It is hydro. Hydro power is the cleanest, and it is very cheap. So, we have other land resources. We've been talking about geothermal resources that we have. Geothermal. Our neighbors in Kenya are moving very fast in their geothermal development. But we are also following suit because we expect about 1,500 megawatts from geothermal resources. We are not scared to talk about nuclear potential that we have, and we are pursuing it. And it is in our vision 2040. Nuclear power for energy. We need it. It's clean. Our big brothers have used it. the challenges of waste management. The scientists are working around the clock to make sure that we manage that. So your Uganda, your country, Uganda, has nuclear potential of about 24,000 megawatts. And we are making sure that we shall break it into portions. You've been hearing about works that we are finalizing on Isimba 183 megawatt plant. We had challenges of defects at the spillway. We are moving on very well. The contractor is finalizing the physical model test in China to ascertain the root cause of the damage so as to inform the permanent solution for the spillway. This is expected to be completed by January this month, this very year. The tests are important to be done if you were to find a lasting solution. On the 2nd of August, you heard about the groundbreaking of Ituka Solar Power Station, which is being developed by Amea Power in Madiokolo. 24 megawatts will be added on the national grid. This is very good. Our energy mix saves us a great deal. Some people don't have this sun you are seeing. We don't have. Their capacity, solar generation capacity, is very limited. But I've mentioned various sources of power that comprise Uganda's energy mix, which puts us on a safe position from water, from sun, from geothermal, from nuclear, from biogas, from wind, you know, from power dam, from all those sources of energy. Indeed, Uganda's up. On the transmission segment, we continue mentioning Western Nile. Western Nile has been connected to the national grid. By the way, this is a manifesto issue, NRM manifesto. You know things when they happen, they dismiss, they disappear. People stop talking about it as an achievement. Let me shout about Western Nile being connected to the national grid last year, 2024. This happened. And another thing that has happened is to connect, commission Mirama Kabale transmission line and all those substations. If you have relatives in that part of Uganda, ask them how Christmas went. Ask them how Christmas went. I am so happy and I congratulate my team for having commissioned this critical line that is stabilizing power in Chigezi region. The people of Chigezi are very happy. At least they've been sending us messages, and I want to appreciate also for the feedback. Some people decide to keep quiet. This is also a manifesto issue. It is also a manifesto issue. The sector has been opened for private, independent, private investors to invest in transmission, independent power transmitters, and also independent power generators. And we have worked on the regulations to allow us implement this kind of business. And what this will bring out, of course, we already have companies that have applied. It's like you are developing a road where you put a toll, people will be paying and you will be recouping your money. Because we have realized that government does not have enough money to pour into the sector. Our budget is in trillions. If we are to connect all the villages, all the load centers to the national grid, we need trillions to be invested in power generation in order to be able to have enough power to distribute enough power to supply. We have to invest in those resting places. I call them resting places. Power has to rest first before it enters your house. Otherwise, it's very dangerous. Power from Karuma has to rest in Oluyo substation. You know, so that we can even know how much power. When it goes, it has to rest in another substation. Maybe it has to rest in Arua substation. Then we have to provide transformers. That's where power rests again, in the transformer before it comes to your meter box. All that requires money. I know that people will be asking, you are bragging, you are doing well. How come our village is still in darkness? We are coming. We shall reach you. But we need to settle this power before it hits your house. Then we want to also involve private sector and individuals. You could be having a factory and you put solar panels, rooftop. We are coming up with the regulators to help us do the business of you generating your power, using some, selling some to the national grid. We call that net metering, or kwebala, twebala. So when you go to Kololo, you will see at the pavilion that rooftop. Nexus Green is a company that was authorized by the regulator to do that kind of business, working with NEC. And it worked as a pilot, and we have seen that it is going to help us. So that is an area, and we are registering that as an achievement. Then on the distribution segment, we have rural electrification development programs. This has progressed very, very well because of the good conducive environment where people are developing day and night. We see homes, beautiful homes coming up in the villages, deep in the villages. The demand for power is too much, which is a good thing. But sometimes people become impatient. When are you reaching my village? Then you explain the government's policy to give power to the district headquarters. From the district headquarters, we are going to the sub-county headquarters. Why sub-county headquarters? Because that's where we find the health center 3s, that's where we find the seed schools, that's where we find the community businesses taking place. And as we go to the sub-county headquarters, wires to Itaku, the wires are just bypassing us. Can you imagine? Why don't you just branch, connect as you are going? As if it's that simple. It's not that simple. You have to plan. What is your policy as government? Connect all the sub-counties. I know that sub-counties have been mushrooming also. I even don't know the number now. So when you think that you've done this sub-county, tomorrow there is a new one that has been carved out of this sub-county, and they begin demanding for power connection. So we still have a balance of those sub-counties. But the distribution segment has done well. We've seen substations being commissioned. We've completed the Muzizi substation. This is it will help evacuate power from Munkusi and Bukila power plants. Like I told you, these are resting places for power. Power from these generation plants will rest there in Muzizi substation. And the development will significantly address the challenges of deemed energy improving efficiency and reducing waste in the power supply chain. Mama Tariff told us the importance of efficiency in power distribution. Then we also expanded the national grid to sub-counties under rural electrification. There are many sub-counties, about 210, that have been added on the national grid, and this is work in progress. We also installed a cable. This is a submarine cable. Submarine cable carrying electrons in water to Kalangala. Basoma. For us, we were told that water and electricity are much as electricity comes from water, but they are enemies. But this has happened. Kalangala district is now on the national grid, and this has improved the availability of power on Kalangala Islands, but has also resulted in a reduction of electricity tariff paid by consumers and customers, and it has enhanced affordability, and it has supported local development. I don't know whether there are so many such kind of submarine cables in Africa, but you may find that this is one of those the big ones that are celebrated. On electricity access, we told you the other day that we are now at 60%. 60%. Why not 100? It's because we must have this power in the kitty. We must have money to construct the road for carrying this power. But with the projects that have come on board, we will see more connections. In the year that we are concluding, we have registered 94,306 connections under the Electricity Scale-Up project. Electricity Scale-Up project is expected to make 1 million connections. That means increased consumption. That means going back to look at the infrastructure that you have, Mr. Distribution. If they are old, you have to revamp them. If you don't do that, power will go, it will escape through those old wires. As we brag about these new connections, we have to do go back and check on the transformers. Can they still serve these new connections? So we move ahead, but also we go back, get money, remove or enhance that transformer. Because the community is now big, consumption is big. On quality and reliability, I'm happy to announce that the prepaid meters have been upgraded to meet international standard transfer specifications. I stood here and I told you, come November 2024, these meters will have challenges. And that thing went viral as we were approaching November. It came back. There are people who feel happy when people are in a fix. They thought we were going to be in a fix. I want to thank Umeme because they worked on this without you people knowing. And I had promised you that we are going to change these meters, upgrade these meters at our cost, not your cost. So you didn't even feel it, but we did it. And by the way, this makes us have a saving and also improves on our collection. because they are prepaid meters. We've opened the regional offices. We have an office in Gulu and an office in Imbale. And the results are very, very good. They are very encouraging. Yesterday, my colleague called me, Honorable Nandala Mafari, with a complaint in his home area. I referred him to Mbale office, and said, tomorrow morning I'm going to go there. So the proximity increases, efficiency in service delivery. So ERA needs money to maintain these offices for the sake of service delivery. Other regions are also waiting to register this and kindly tell our people to use these offices. Instead of calling Kampala, you call the minister, use these offices so that we can respond rapidly to your issue. You heard about our energy transition plan, which we launched in Dubai during COP28 in 2023. This plan is going to play a very central role in shaping our energy mix. It's aiming for a low carbon and climate resilient economy. And this is in line with the Paris Agreement and Uganda's nationally determined contribution. As a country, we are obliged to inform the world the efforts, the plans that we have to make sure that we save the environment. Every country, whether your national grid is powered by renewable energy only, you are supposed to, because the vehicles that you see moving emit. There are emissions that are done. So as a country, our energy transition plan was very well received in Dubai during COP28. And it will attract investment. It will attract some funds because we have a plan. There are not so many countries that have transition plans as comprehensive as that one that Uganda developed. We are also promoting, and we have promoted efficiency, energy efficiency and conservation, including electric mobility. We have continued to support industries in improving energy efficiency through the energy audits. Audits done by professionals to audit how you are using this electricity, what kind of appliances you have. Special energy audits are going to continue helping government to audit industries. This will save us. Those that have been, short-waving, the auditor will come. And from the questions that he will ask, and from the observations, we will be able to detect that there is a wire which does not go through this meter, which you are using. From what you are producing, you can't say that you are using this much energy. It is going to be a law. The bill is before Parliament. We are going to process it. We shall appoint these auditors. They are going to go beyond industries. We have to be careful when we are importing electricity appliances. UNBS must employ people who are knowledgeable, who are going to help us save those gadgets that end up wasting energy, using much more energy than you would have used to do similar work. So this is going to help us. And in line with the promotion of an efficient transport system, government is keen to encourage the adoption of electric mobility. I congratulate Kira Motors. I see the buses every day on Entebbe Road and other places, those white, nice Kayola buses. They are working, they have moved more than 50,000 kilometers. When we were in Changwanzi on our retreat, we used them to commute from Changwanzi to Ngoma. They have Wi-Fi, good music. We did disco in the buses. It was very interesting. Made in Uganda. Congratulations, Kira Motors. Congratulations, President Yoweri Museveni, for the insistence and resistance that you put to make sure that this plant stands. Congratulations, Honorable Senator, Minister of Science and Technology. So we are continuing. Our role will be to make sure that the charging stations are done. We have one at our Ministerial quarters, Amber House, which we want to begin with. We want to begin importing because Kira Motors' capacity may not be enough to serve the demand that we have. I hear that these electric cars, if you imported it, it is zero rated, no tax, and you know that the cost of a car is almost equal to the tax that you pay. If you've bought a car, $30,000, you will pay like $30,000 in taxes. So Ugandans better get prepared as we improve on our roads, and we also prepare for maintenance of these cars. The garages that will be helping us to maintain the cars. For now, that is the challenge that we have. Supposing it develops, a challenge, where will I take it? But this is our plan. We must be ready to have the charging stations. We are also doing fuel blending. We thought we had planned to do fuel blending beginning 1st of January last year, but we realized that we faced challenges in determining where the blending will take place. Is it at the entry point before the fuel, disappears into the communities? And so we established a committee which is working, and the committee includes we have the National Biofuel Committee, composed of the private sector, oil companies, and biofuel producers, and relevant MDAs. And these are supposed to provide strategic guidance to the biofuel industry and blending programs. We want to blend, but we want to raise the cost of fuel. So we have to put all this in consideration. The internal technical committee, which is there to secure effective coordination and teamwork within my ministry. Then the licensing officer, and this was gazetted. Licensing officer was gazetted, and the licensing office has been created to support the physical and functional process for licensing. On the nuclear energy, government is promoting nuclear energy, of course, and preparatory activities for 8,400 megawatts energy nuclear power plant, which will be in Buyende district, are ongoing, and a nuclear training program is being developed at Soroti University as part of the planned Center for Nuclear Science and Technology. The President has been promoting scientists. Now we shall have a Center for Nuclear Science and Technology, and I want to appreciate Soroti University for the cooperation that they have shown so far. They have signed the MOU with us, and we are in total cooperation. Thank you, Soroti University. There have been challenges in the electricity subsector. Despite those many achievements, power supply reliability, and the sector shall continue to prioritize investment in the distribution network through line and substation upgrading and refurbishment to support the growing demand due to accelerating access to clean energy, with annual connection targets of 400,000 per year and access for all, which is planned to be achieved by 2030, inshallah. This is 2025, 2030, 5 years. What a big dream. We need support. And we need more mobilization so that people can be able to work with government by installing power, solar power in their homes. Because when you do that, you are increasing this access. 60% is not all on the national grid. National grid is about 28%. So, by you putting solar panels on your house, you are collaborating with government. Challenges of power theft, power theft. Do you know some people brag? Me, I've never paid for power. I had somebody, I almost slapped her, but I composed myself so that I can hear more. That lady did not know me. To pay for it, sure, I can't. Can you imagine a Ugandan bragging that for her she doesn't pay? There are those who don't pay for water, they don't pay for, and they are happy with that. Shame on them. Power theft continues, but I want to warn you because there are stringent punishments that we put in that law. Once you are caught, you will serve an exam. We continue to see people cutting down our lines, vandalizing. We shall continue to be vigilant. I want to pause here and thank the Wananchi who have been working with us. Thank you so much. We've always been called, where can we put them? They tie them kandoya and call us with their wires. Okay? So thank you so much, and I want to call upon everybody to be vigilant. And in the President's end of year message, he also talked about it. Briefly on the Mineral Development Program, we are happy that we have registered the progress. The Mineral Development Program seeks to increase the exploitation and value addition to the mineral resources for job-rich industrialization. Uganda is endowed with enormous potential for minerals with a favorable geological environment for world-class economy mineral deposits. This has been seen by so many investors that rush in Uganda. There are many. When you come to our offices, you will see them. And I'm happy that Ugandans have also picked up. We used to see white people coming to seek for help, you know, but I am happy now to see Ugandan companies participating a great deal, and we shall work with you so that you can benefit from these resources. Several minerals have been discovered, critical ones such as copper, nickel, gold, chromite, iron ore, tin, tantalite, tungsten, limestone, marble, graphite, and gemstones, and many more. The mineral resources in Uganda are key in addressing energy security. Remember, I talked about integration, energy security, economic growth, infrastructure development, and agricultural products for food security. The minerals work as fertilizers. Our soils are old. The population is increasing. We are overusing the soils. Although we sing about fertile soils in our national anthem, time has come to help our soils rejuvenate. We need fertilizers. Some of these minerals are very critical sources of fertilizers. We need battery storage. We need batteries for power storage. Some of these minerals are critical for battery storage. So we are endowed with these critical minerals. We have strengthened the legal and regulatory framework. A sector which is booming must have sound legal and regulatory framework. And in 2024, the Ministry successfully implemented the Mining and Minerals Licensing Regulations 2023, which operationalized the Mining and Minerals Act of 2022, and the framework facilitated the introduction of an online mineral licensing system, streamlining the licensing processes for investors. You don't have to look at my face if you were to apply for a license. Just go online. Additional regulations were introduced to promote local mineral value addition. The mining and minerals export and import of processed tin regulation, achieving a 99.85% level of purity was done. The mining and minerals export of refined gold regulation of 2024 with a 99.99% level of purity. The mining and minerals export of processed vermiculite regulations of 2024, ensuring high quality export with a purity level of 93%, premium, large, medium, and fine, super fine, and microns of vermiculite. This was done. Vermiculite is a critical mineral, so we have it in Manafa and in the Eastern. It is used in many areas. Exploration of quantification of minerals. My ministry concluded extensive exploration activities in various regions. Karamoja region was completed the airborne geophysical surveys and geological mapping, revealing high mineral prospectivity in Karamoja. The findings are being integrated into a mineral atlas, that map showing the minerals in Uganda, and we shall launch it on the 30th of January this year in Karamoja. We are going to use that event to sensitize the people of Karamoja as well, because you've been hearing about rush, gold rush. Uganda is Zabo indeed. Somebody is digging and comes across a stone, and this stone is a critical mineral, is gold. And then the rush. And those artisanal miners come like bees. Before you know it, you have 30,000 people in one place. No hygiene, no what, so we have to regulate them. So on the 30th of January, we shall be in Karamoja to launch the atlas, the minerals atlas, but also to do further sensitization. You move to Karamoja and you smell gold. I went to Kalapata, the rocks are golden, you know? No wonder. So, and people are aware, so we don't want to cause friction. We shall be there and you are all invited. Our iron ore exploration, you don't know what is happening. In Chigezi, people are coming every time. Our iron ore is the best. 68% pure, you know. This is the best in the world. In Uganda, it is found in Uganda. And the ground physical surveys at Burunga, Mukabuzi, in Imbarara, and Chigezi regions identified significant iron ore deposits with 36.9 metric tons of indicated iron ore resources. from only those areas. 35.9 metric tons. Then uranium exploration. Of course, you know how important uranium is, and the geological and the geochemical surveys at Boma and the Sankara in Sembabule district, and the gamma ray spectrometry surveys in Chigoma, Osanyi, uranium anomalies in Chiboga district. They returned promising uranium anomalies, and we are really making sure that we stage further exploration. The initial preliminary explorations indicate that these areas have uranium, and we don't just issue licenses to some of these critical minerals because we need them. On geothermal energy exploration, you've been hearing about exploration done at Kibiro and Panyamul. These are two sites that confirmed that the process of high temperature gradients, indicating potential for electricity generation of up to 1,500 megawatts. Drilling at these sites is planned for 2025 and to assess reservoir characteristics and energy generation capacity. Then on modern mineral laboratory, our laboratory is almost completed. We are at 99. It's going to be certified and it's going to be recognized internationally. It's in Entebbe. Once we do that, we shall actually serve the region. And on increased mineral production and non-tax revenue, NTR, significant increases in mineral production and NTR were recorded last year, 2024. Iron ore production increased from 163,200 tons in 2022-2023 to 466,547 tons in 2023-2024. So we have increased exploitation. The NTR, the non-tax revenue, therefore grew from 16 billion Ugandan shillings to 25 billion Ugandan shillings. The increase in NTR is attributed to the increase in royalty amounts and increased production of iron ore due to enactment of the Mining and Minerals Act of 2022 and the Sectoral instrument that followed export of iron ore in 2023. We are of course revamping Kilembe mines. We are moving on very well. We advertised, we started on the process very well of procuring a developer for Kilembe mines. There were initially 17 companies that applied, which we continue to assess. We have a strong committee comprised of many ministers from finance, attorney general, energy, that have been working with a high-level technical committee. And as I speak now, the winner is being we are now in the last negotiation to cross-check whether that winner will be able to abide by what is in the Act, for example, the mineral production sharing agreement that we introduced. Otherwise, the process is almost complete. I thought that I was going to give Ugandans Merry Christmas with this announcement, but please hold on. Very soon, we shall announce the completion of this process. Kilembe mines must be revamped. We expect a lot. And I pray and I wish success our new National Mining Company, because this is likely to be the first project that they are going to handle. That is on Chilende Mines. On mineral value addition, again, we are just reminding Ugandans, they may have forgotten. Mineral value addition we have achieved. You remember on the 26th of September last year, was it last year, when Woodcross is the company that imported a smelting plant in Uganda and installed it in Imbarara, in Iruti. And they did us very, very good. We went and commissioned it. The president was the chief guest. And the plant will produce high quality of tin for export with a capacity of 1,600 tons of tin concentrates annually. So the challenge is that we must have industries to consume this tin. Level of purity is that one that we can get maximum. So we need industries to consume these products because we are encouraging value addition. For now, I gave them export license to export this tin. The ingots, they're being exported. The artisanal miners have been doing their thing, their way. Artisanal miners, mukono kumukono. We have seen progress in organizing them. The ministry continued to formalize the registration of artisanal miners. We now talk about 5,193 miners registered under the biometric registration of artisanal and small-scale miners. This is a project that we are carrying. These people have to be regulated. The way they invent and begin doing business, we have to be very quick. And I am happy to note that we have many associations. We've been helping them to form associations. The Bibanja holders, the what, form associations. They behave the same. In Central, in Busia, in Western Nile, in Yumbe, in Karamoja, you find people of different tribes. Money has no tribe. People move from east, west, and gather to begin mining. So we are moving on very well with this group. And I want to call upon people, don't just rush and begin the business. You must know the laws and the regulations that govern the business that you are engaged in. I introduced the chairperson of the Uganda National Mining Company. That means you are aware that the company is up and running. I am now ending by the petroleum program. The Sustainable Development of the Petroleum Resources Program seeks to attain equitable value from the petroleum resources and spur economic development in a timely and sustainable manner. Since the landmark discovery of the resources in 2006, Uganda has upheld the highest environmental and industrial, legislative, and regulatory standards. We've been hit by the world, but we have not been found wanting because of this arrangement. We have the best. We have responded to every query. We even introduced the national content specifically, and the Petroleum Authority of Uganda is in charge of making sure that national content is implemented to make sure that Ugandans benefit from these natural resources. Even before the first oil, the petroleum sector has significantly contributed to the country's GDP, amounting to 8.6 billion US dollars, and has created over 15,169 direct jobs, 34,889 indirect jobs, and 100,115 induced jobs. You have to get this money. There is an opportunity. There is an opportunity that has come. Ugandans occupy over 64% of positions in the management category. Additionally, procurements valued at 2.1 billion US dollars, 40% of that have been awarded to Ugandan companies. This is the beginning of a long-term economic uplift, promising benefits for the next 25 plus years. As support to encourage Ugandans to harness the opportunities in the petroleum subsector, the ministry is establishing the Local Content Development Fund, from which local suppliers can access cheaper credit, and the LCDF bill will be finalized. This Local Content Development Fund bill will be finalized very soon. Then let me also talk about the upstream development. What is it? What is happening? I know we visited with you, and I think time is due now for us to go back and see with our team, that media team that we've worked with. We need to go back and see. I may read, but some of these developments really you need to see the rig, really digging. So Tilenga project, this is what is developed by Total Energies. The upstream projects continued to make remarkable progress. The Tilenga project has successfully drilled 93 wells out of the 150 wells which we targeted for first oil. We know that the number of wells in Tilenga is more than that, about 426 wells. But we don't have to drill all the wells in order to get our first oil. First oil requires 150 wells. And out of that, Tilenga has done 93, and I think that's about 62%. So that is as far as Tilenga is concerned. We expect 190,000 barrels of crude oil every day from Tilenga. And I'm told, by the way, that all these wells have promised, we are not heating air. As it was discovered by the scientists, the oil is there. So that's good news also. There are people who abandon. You drill and you heat air. You drill another, you know. But our scientists really, they did very good work. And by the way, we have been able to achieve this amidst challenges. There are project-affected people who were mobilized to refuse. For us, we are not going anywhere. This is our... And you spend time because of those activists. But we've been able to cover this. Now that we have made enough noise inside and outside Uganda, you are going to see speed. We are going to move rapidly so that we see our first oil. Kingfisher, which is planned to develop, to produce 40,000 barrels of crude oil every day. It's very exciting. The Kingfisher project also has achieved significant milestones, a total of 13 production wells out of the planned 17, which is needed for first oil, has been drilled to total depth as of December 2024, to total depth. Total depth means we are waiting for the other infrastructure to be in place so that we can scoop the products out of the ground. Notable progress as of December 2024 was recorded, with overall progress in readiness for first oil as at 76%. We are continuing with our mission of full exploitation of the resources that God gave us. So exploration efforts are going on in securing new licenses. Exploration licenses were granted to our own company, Uganda National Oil Company, and DGR Energy Taraco Uganda, SMC Limited for the Kasulu Ban and the Taraco contract area, making the completion of Uganda's second competitive licensing round. Wow, you know who is there. If you have money, you better come and do JV. They have the license, I issued the license on the 24th of January, 2023, I think, 2023. I am looking at you, how you are progressing. Please don't tempt me to do otherwise. So you better look for a JV, and then we quickly begin developing another area. Preliminary studies in the Moroto-Kadam Basin and Choga Basin also showed promising results, with the further exploration set to expand Uganda's petroleum reserves. The ministry announced the opening up of new areas in November 2024 as part of the planned third licensing round to be undertaken during 2025. Third licensing round. That is upstream. Then in the midstream, the famous East African crude oil pipeline is moving. Again, this is another area where bad people who did not understand the geography of East Africa made annoying allegations that the pipeline is crossing Lake Victoria, the pipeline is crossing 230 small rivers, the pipeline is displacing people and animals and all that, and that it is the longest heated pipeline in the world, therefore it's going to hit them. You know, we listened, and I'm happy to note that civil works for ECO, which will transport our crude oil from Uganda to Tanzania, continued on schedule in both Uganda and Tanzania. And I want to appreciate the President, Her Excellency, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, for the support. Mama has been supporting us. We've been meeting her, and Tanzania was the first one even to secure the line, because their land tenure system is favorable, land belongs to the state, so they secured. But even us, we are able to secure, and a total of 1,000 kilometers of line pipe has been delivered to Tanzania out of the expected 1,443. 1,000 has been delivered, so we are remaining with only 443 kilometers. And the completion of the thermal insulated plant in Tanzania and the delivery of insulated line pipes marked critical milestones. We commissioned the insulating plant in Tabora, in Tanzania. The pipes have 3 layers. We would have gotten a lot of money from this business, but those bad people are making sure that they squeeze us. So the pipe has 3 layers, meaning that the temperature is contained. It's like a vacuum flask, and it is done in Tanzania. So the overall progress for the EPC contract is 46%, with engineering at 87%. Procurement is at 63%. Construction and pre-commissioning is at 19%. And approximately 90 kilometers of line pipes have been welded in Tanzania, while Uganda closed the year with over 10 kilometers welded. Those pipes, I don't know the thickness, I saw, so you have to use high technology for this. And this pipeline is progressing. I know a question will come from you about financing. Let me mention that as shareholders, we did not wait for money from there. By increasing equity. The financing structure was 40% equity, 60% debt. As I speak now, that has changed. It is now 52% equity and 48% debt. That's why you are seeing progress. We are giving in money to Kolola. We are giving in money to make sure that work doesn't stop. Work will not stop. And I want to appreciate our shareholders in the ECO. Then on land acquisition, and again a question might come, I've told you that on our side, we've progressed to 99%. We have that 1% where we have not been able to identify clearly the owners. Even where we have identified, they are quarreling, family wrangles, you know. So we are now planning to go to court and deposit money in court. Sometimes there are issues on the land titles. That's why we are at 99%. And so I talk with confidence that this will be achieved 100% in this year 2025. On the refinery, on the refinery, of course you've been following that we spent 4 years and 9 months with the previous consortium. But because this project is again sensitive, it is refining fossil fuel, we expected to have money very quickly. Unfortunately, it was not the case because of the activists who were decampaigning the refinery. So we gave chance. We kept on renewing the project framework agreement until we said, let us open up. Maybe we shall get a company that will have money. And indeed, the president helped us. You heard that went to Russia, went to where? UAE, and we came up with a solution where we have this company Alpha MBM LLC, which is based in UAE, and we've been negotiating. Negotiations are going very well. We have decided that the financing structure has to be borne by, the money have to be borne by us, the shareholders, 100% equity. Tetuddayo kunonya mabanje. we have learned a lesson. So that once we have cleared that, the refinery is going to move at a terrific speed. We have negotiated the crude oil supply agreement and other agreements which are very important. And very soon, in the first quarter of 2025, we will be signing all these agreements. There is also another critical infrastructure in the midstream, Kabalega Industrial Park Development. The park is in Seruka sub-county in Hoima district. Work is advancing significantly in the reticulation systems, and we are progressing well, with the park expected to deliver industrial growth and support Uganda's oil and gas sector. Once you have a refinery, you will need the consumers of the residues from this refinery. Land was secured and paid for, and a land title is supposed to be given out. And there is also a second international airport that came by because of the oil developments in Hoima. Omwangu agiita Ntebe eyokubiri. Ntebe airport eyokubiri. It is a big international airport which is going to really improve the welfare of Ugandans. Most importantly, those that are around, they have to use this as an opportunity. The cargo plane that will be coming in should not go back empty. This airport is under supervision of General Katumba Wamala, and I'm told that it's at 95% complete. This cargo airport will support all the gas operations and later expand for passenger use, boosting tourism and Uganda's agricultural exports. I also want to talk about the road infrastructure, though it's not in my docket, but it facilitates my docket. The roads there are like snakes, you know, all tarmacked, and this has boosted us. We've constructed over 700 kilometers of roads in the Albertine region, enhancing connectivity and living standards in Hoima, Bulisa, Noya, Masindi, Fort Portal, Kabale, Mubende, Zimbabwe, and Impigi. The roads have contributed to improved living standards, especially as affordable and accessible transport is a critical factor in production. Now we go to downstream. Battery go for amafuta ebe yeyongedde okukka. That is another big headline. Uganda predominantly imports its petroleum, with over 90% arriving through Kenya's Mombasa port, which is supplemented by imports via Tanzania's Dar es Salaam port. And our market-driven approach allows supply and demand to dictate pump prices naturally. Petroleum products and bulk trading business being managed by Ugandan National Oil Company. You remember we had to amend the law, the Petroleum and Supply Act of 2013, which opened up for Uganda National Oil Company to have that monopoly, to be the ones to bring in all the petroleum products that we need. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. But I want to congratulate UNO for being strong. Being a strong team in the negotiations with our brothers and sisters in Kenya wasn't something small. Thank you for facilitating me. And I'm so proud that the business is booming. And you are able to see pump prices going down because we removed the middlemen that the president was talking about, the layers which had been introduced by government-to-government system. I want to thank President Ruto, the president of Kenya, who insisted that Uganda has to be supported. And we met him many times in his state house in Nairobi. He saw the policy decision or the policy shift that Uganda introduced very quickly. But it wasn't easy because technical people had to technically be handled also. I want to thank my counterparts in Kenya for having finally seen it prudent to withdraw the case in court, and that unveiled progress in this bulk purchasing business. I appreciate them. So, logistically, the supply routes to Uganda were enhanced with commissioning of second ship of Mahati Infra Uganda Limited that is transporting fuel over Lake Victoria from Kisumu, Kenya to Bokassa. We are also continuing to do fuel marking, and Uganda's fuel quality compliance rate is over 99%. And this remains the world best practice average rate of 97.5 to 99.5. Ours is 99%. This is very good. Of course, I can't end without talking about our endeavors in liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, as a clean source of energy. The initiative that my government is doing, where we want to really increase from an annual rate of 90% LPG usage. We continue to support this green initiative by exempting LPG from taxes, encouraging wider adoption across Uganda. In Solo Tekuli, we have so far distributed 13,733 LPG starter kits in Kampala, Mukono, and Wakiso, and we remain to reach 50,000 households across all cities before end of this financial year. This is a project we started to help us enhance adaptation by distributing free LPG starter kits. We are teaching you not to fear to use LPG. Time for using charcoal will come to an end. Time for cutting down of trees in search for firewood will come to an end. We must come out of the stigma that comes around with the usage of LPG. This message goes to everybody. Ministers, members of parliament, CEOs, we are stigmatized. You think about leaving your maid with LPG, it's like your house is going to be set ablaze. So we are stigmatized. But for me, I broke the stigma. I am born again. Yes. I'm using LPG, I'm using biofuel, all those categories. EPCs, electric pressure gas cookers, all those. So please let 2025 come with that spirit which is not stigmatized. Move charcoal out of your kitchens, please. LPG is available, and we have removed the taxes to make it affordable. And good news is that a construction license for the Kingfisher Development Area Natural Gas Conversion Facility in Chikube District to Sino was issued during Q1 of this financial year. That means we will begin getting our own gas very soon. The license is for a period of 5 years from the date of issuance in accordance with the Act, the Midstream Act. Let me also inform you that the year ending, on the 18th, it was Friday, 18th October, I represented government and I signed a supplier and production license to Global Gases Group, a company which is going to construct, first of all, a gas cylinder manufacturing plant in Uganda, international standard, and then government will be buying 500,000 gas cylinders every year to distribute to people. Time for Chapo is coming to an end very soon. It's coming to an end. I will need 30 million US dollars every year for this. And finance has guaranteed it. 500,000 gas cylinders to be distributed. That is very good. We have strengthened the legal and regulatory framework. Of course, LPG has to be regulated. It has to be regulated, and that's our work. We have the draft policy framework to regulate LPG. In summary, our plans for 2025, the PS mentioned some of them, but as I conclude, let me mention that we are planning to ensure a smooth transition of the management and operation of Omeme concession by Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited, which is aiming at enhancing the efficiency and reliability of power distribution. This strategic move is expected to improve service delivery and reduce operational costs. And I want to promise that I will come back here when everything is done to take you through the structure, to see the offices, the positions that we have created to enhance service delivery and efficiency in power distribution. This is going to be managed by your own people, Ugandans. We are going to recruit people from both sides. Umeme has trained Ugandans. They are sitting there and they're the ones handling. So we will continue, but we shall offer interviews. These positions will be opened for, as a matter of priority, for Umeme and UEDCL. First, you have to be qualified. So I am expecting a smooth, service delivery system. We will commence development of additional power generation plants to ensure sustainable development of the energy sector. With the speed and zeal and vigor from UEDCL, with the 400,000 connections planned every year, we must have plans to make sure that power to be connected so that we can connect the 410 sub-counties and value addition centers to support the parish development model, like the regulator indicated when she was introducing categories. There is that category that we will see value addition at the parish level. We will continue with grid expansion to support all that development. We shall develop a number of solar power projects. The regulator has a list of applications. Once the grid stability study is completed by UETCL in June this year, we are going to see an opening of new solar generation projects in the country. Shall enhance productive use of energy and energy efficiency, and the preparations for the nuclear power project in Riende, we want to see something happening. And then our old dam, Narubale Chira, has to be rehabilitated. And I think a contractor was secured, but it has to be done. That plant is very critical. It's a security plant, by the way. If anything happens to it, the other plants downstream can end up suffering. So this is very important. We shall promote modern energy, cooking services, and technologies. You've been seeing us distributing them. On the sustainable mineral development, a lot has been planned. And I can only mention the need to capitalize the national mining company. To be able to begin, this baby has to be helped to be able to grow and serve the parents. The ministry plans to advance the processing of identified mineral deposits, focusing on value addition and creating employment opportunities. We shall undertake quantification of key strategic mineral resources. We are planning to establish mineral markets to enable transparent mineral trading. I've already discussed with the Commissioner General of URA to partner with us. They have to take keen interest in making sure that what is happening in the mineral markets, Uganda is not losing money. So URA has to partner with us. They have to give us some support to be able to generate the revenues that they expect. The formalization of artisanal and small-scale mining operations are part of our critical items on the agenda for 2025. And we will commence redevelopment of Chirembe mines, as I've explained, and also support large-scale mining moving into production, such as Wagagai in Busia and Renzo rare earth in Mayuge. On sustainable petroleum development, financial year 2025-2026 will ensure continued development of this midstream, upstream and midstream infrastructure in preparation for fast oil. Commercial development of our, we will commence redevelopment or development of our oil refinery once we sign all the relevant agreements and agreements. Basically, the development will start. As I told you, that we committed ourselves to look for this money. The financing structure is on 100% equity. We will support LPG deployment. We will move with you to sensitize people on adaptation. We shall ensure security of supply of petroleum products through UNOX bulk trading businesses. What I really confirm is that the country has been maintained weight. We have not incurred any darkness in oil supply. UNOC has continued working with OMCs to make sure that pumps have the products. The advance, the development of Kabalega industrial park. I will come back here and you will be asking me on what I have done, on what I have told you as our plan for 2025. So, with all those many words, I don't know what you are going to issue out. But for the petroleum side, I wish you can mention that the country remains well supplied with petroleum products and there has been no shortage throughout 2024. I wish you can mention that. You know? I wish you can mention that amasanyalaze geyongedde okukka ebbeeyi. You know, that attracts investors if you don't know. You know, if you want to see many people coming in with their money, just mention the security of the country. Border to border, the country is secure. Just mention electricity for industry, but also for tourism. Just mention the transport sector, where the country continues to be supplied. And just mention that the cost of power continues to reduce, and the cost of fuel continues to reduce. Those are two drivers of development. So, and we shall be good. So, moving, can I have questions or
no? Just Luganda.
Olwaleero tuzze ne benkola nabo mu kitongole kyange ekigazi ekirimu ab'amasannyalaze, ekirimu ab'amafuta, ekirimu abugagga obw'omutaka minerals, ekitongole kyange kyekirimu n'abo abatulungamya ba regulator. Tuzze wano olwaleero nga tutandikidde kubuulira bannayuganda era nga chairman wa board evunaanyizibwa ku muwendo gw'amasannyalaze yewoomyemu omutwe okubuulira bannayuganda ti amasannyalaze omwaka guno 2025 geeyongedde okusalibwa ebbeeyi, ate ebbeeyi tusaze nnene ddala. Omwaka oguwedde twasalako akatundu ka 1.6, kati tusaze obutundu 5.2. Omwaka oguwedde gavumenti yeefiiriza obuwumbi 40 mu kwerekereza bw'osobole okufuna amasannyalaze ag'ebbeeyi ensaamusaamu. Omwaka guno gavumenti yeefiiriza obuwumbi 155 okwerekereza bw'osobole okwota amasannyalaze gano ng'osobola okugabula. So ow'ekitongole ekyo atubuulidde nti waliwo n'ekibinja ekirala kyataddemu ekigenda okugabanako nga kisaliddwa ebbeeyi. Kati nga bw'olaba amalwaliro amanene ago, nga bw'olaba poliisi, nga bw'olaba UPDF, nga prisons, abo babadde bali bubi era nga tubabanja, amabanja nga gagenda waggulu nnyo. Omuwendo guno ogw'enjawulo ogugenda ku abo tusuubira nti gujja kubayamba okusasula amasannyalaze ago. Ekyo no kipya tekibaddeewo. Era ne batubuulira nti gwe bw'oneeyongera ng'onywa amasannyalaze mangi bw'ow'ekkolero, gy'okoma okunywa amasannyalaze amangi gy'ojja okukoma n'okusasula ebbeeyi ntono, kubanga ojja kuba ng'onywedde amasannyalaze mangi. So bwe tumaze okuwuliriza okulangirira okwo, kubanga kuli mu mateeka, ekitongole kino kirina okujja ne kirangirira. Okulangirira okwo kuli mu mateeka. Mbadde nina okubayitiramu sekita yonna okutwalira awamu ekoze etya okuviira ddala ku masannyalaze. Amasannyalaze ge tukola geeyongeddeko obungi, kubanga tulabye amabibiro g'amasannyalaze mangi nga tugakomissioninze ne twegattako omuwendo gw'amasannyalaze, kubanga bulijjo tubadde tubabuulira kati tuli mu 1000, 1700, 1800, kati tutuuse mu 2055 n'obutundutundu 6 amasannyalaze ge tulina. Era ne tubabuulira ne plan ne tulina nga tumaze okulaba wawe tugenda okujja amasannyalaze amalala amangi kubanga mwenna muyayana kufuna amasannyalaze. Ne tubagulira nti Uganda ngagga, tulina omusana, tulina embuyaga, naye tulina n'omukka ogw'omuttaka geothermal, era nga abaana ba Uganda betukozesa mu mirire zaffe bali mu kuyiikuula okulaba busobozi ki oba omukka ogwo guyinza tuwa masannyalaze genkanawo agava mu ttaka geothermal, era ne batuwulira kumpi megawatts 1,500 tuzisuubira. Naye waliwo n'amaanyi g'ensi nuclear nga mu Uganda wano tulina ebitundu byaffe gali ag'omukka, gali Panyimuru, gali n'Ekibiro, naye gano go amaanyi g'ettaka ago go gali e Buyende, era twagenzeyo ne tutandika okwogera n'abakulembeze nga tubateekateeka wano nno tusuubira okutandika okudevelopinga amasannyalaze nga tugajja mu maanyi ag'omuttaka ago aga nuclear, era target yaffe yakulaba nti wakiri megawatts 805 megawatts 805 twagala tulabe nga tutandika okuziteekateeka, naye nga tageti yaffe twagala mu mwaka gwa 2030 nga buli muntu at least agobye enzikiza oba ku mutimbagano ogw'ensi ogw'ggwanga national grid, obanga weetaddemu ssente n'oteeka solar ku nnyumba yo. Era tubategeezezza nti abakola transmission abagajjayo gye bagakoledde ne bagatwala ne bagatereka, ate we tunagajja okugagaba bongeddeko omwaka guno gwe tumaliriza twalabye nga omutimbagano gw'amasannyalaze gutuuse West Nile. Mu Luganda sikimanyi bwe nakiyita West Nile. Eyo mu balugwala eyo Lugubala, Arulu, mu balugwala eyo amasannyalaze gatuuseeyo, bulijjo bantu baffe babadde bakaaba, era kino nga kiyine mu manifesto ya NRM. Amasannyalaze gatuuseeyo, transmission line zatuuse Bukiga, transmission line eyo 132 twagitongozza Emirama, Kabale, Kisoro, era Sekukulu bagiridde bulungi. Era tubategeezezza nti tulina n'enteekateeka okwongerako transmission lines endala nga eneeva eneyita mu Baluulu, mu Balugwala abo n'engenda mu Basudaani e Juba. Amasannyalaze tugatundayo olw'okufuna essente ate twongere okugagaziya. Era bwe tutuuka ku okugagaba tuli mu kweteekateeka, kampuni ya gavumenti yegenda okuwomamu omutwe okutambuza amasannyalaze gano mu byalo ne gye tugagala. Tuli mu kweteekateeka nga tusiibula ekitongole ekibadde kigagaba ekya UMEME, kubanga endagaano yaabwe eweddeko. Tetubagobye lwa bubi, endagaano eweddeko, ate tulaba nga naffe amaanyi kati tugafunye n'okuyiga tuyize, tujja kusobola okwetambuliza amasannyalaze ago. Mu kugeetambuliza amasannyalaze gagenda kwongera okukka ebbeeyi, kubanga essente ze tubadde tusaasaanya mu kugatambuza zigenda kuba ntonoko nga cost, naye nga tujja kwetaaga essente ate nnyingi okusobola okuddaabiriza emitimbagano egiriwo, tusobole okutaasa amasannyalaze ago okutoloka. Ogasindika kugenda eno gatuuka bitundu, kubanga waya mwe gayita nkadde gatoloka. Nolwekyo sekita eno egenda kwetaaga essente nnyingi okulaba nga amasannyalaze tugataasa. Era ne mbategeeza nti mu mwaka guno era tulabye nga amateeka ge twetaaga naddala okulungamya abo abaagala okukola amasannyalaze ne bagakozesaako agasigaddewo ne bagatunda eri gavumenti, enteekateeka ewedde. okulungamizibwa kuli regulations ziwedde era twetegeke abo abaagala okuyingira bizinesi eyo mu kiyingire. Era ategeezezza eggwanga titwalabye amasannyalaze nga gayita mu Lake Victoria nga gagenda e Kalangala, omutimbagano gwa National Grid, omutimbagano gw'amasannyalaze guyise mu mazzi Lake Victoria ne gutuuka e Kalangala. Era ekyo kitegeeza nti ebbeeyi y'amasannyalaze Kalangala esse, kubanga amasannyalaze agava ku mutimbagano go ga bbeeyi ntono okusinga ago ge bagenda bakola mu bitundu ebiri isolated. Era ne mbagamba nti ne mu distribution muno tugenda kulaba connections oba tugenda kubayungako. Abantu bangi nnyo tuplaninga kuyunga abantu ku masannyalaze emitwalo 40 connections emitwalo 40 buli mwaka. Era tusuubira gavumenti okututeekamu ensimbi okusobola okukola ekyo. World Bank yatuwola ensimbi $638 enzungu eza dola. Tugenda kudduka misinde okulaba nga tukozesa ssente ezo okwongera okugaba amasannyalaze. Era mbadde nina okubanyonnyola nti omutindo gw'amasannyalaze gavavaako oyo gavumbeera oyo tugezezzaako, kubanga tulabye nga substations nyingi z'emmenye wano zetusobodde okuzza obujja mu by'amasannyalaze. Era etteeka ekkakali ligenda kujja, eryo etteeka ligenda kutuyamba okulondoola ab'amakolero abo bye bakozesa, bye basaanye okukozesa, tebatubba, amasannyalaze bagakozesa bulungi. Tugenda kubeera n'ababalirizi b'amasannyalaze ababisoma ng'akutunuulira ne factory yo n'akulaba n'aga nti waliwo ekikyamu, kyusa mu mashiini eno gy'okozesa nkadde eyonoona amasannyalaze gaffe. Amasannyalaze gatuwala ssente okugakola, tetwagala gasaasaanya wadde onoogamba nti kasita ngasasulira. Twagala osasulira ago g'osaanidde okukozesa. So tugenda kufuna ababalirizi. Era omwaka guno tulabye nga etteeka eryo tulimaze ffe nga ministry, cabinet yaliisa, tusigadde kulyanjula mu palamenti. Era ne neebaza ne palamenti kubanga etuwagidde amateeka mangi ge tuyisizza agaluŋŋamya by'amasannyalaze. Era tulabye nga n'amafuta gaffe tugenda kugatabulamu kubanga kitukakatako okulaba nti obutonde bw'ensi tubutaasa. Ate n'ekirala eriyo abakamula ebikajjo, abakamula ne bafunayo ko fuel oyo ava mu ebyo bye bakozesa mu industries zaabwe gwe tutasobola kusuula. Era okumugatta mu mafuta kikkirizibwa mu nsi yonna. Oteekako ekipimo ekigera n'obanga agamafuta g'otabuza ogajje mu Uganda togasuubudde bweru. N'olwekyo abo abagakola obayambye obaguzeeko oyo biofuel. Tugenda twakitandiseeko teams ez'enjawulo weeziri, obukiiko obw'enjawulo weebuli mubabuulidde. Kaakati era nnyongedde n'enjogerako nti bino byonna tubituuseeko era twenyumiriza. Tituli yadde kati amasannyalaze ogalaba gatambudde, ebyuma obiraba bitambudde, naye tukyalina okusoomooza. Okusoomooza okusooka nti oluusi amasannyalaze gagenda ne gavaako we gataaliviiriddeko. Waya eyinza okuba nkadde, naye eyinza okuba nga si nkadde, naye omuti ne gugigwira n'ekutuka. Power reliability oba amasannyalaze ago obutaviirako ddala awo we gali, tukyalinawo okusoomooza naye nga tujja kukikolako. Okusoomooza okulala kuli nti bannanga ababba amasannyalaze, mazima ga Katonda mugulu n'obeera awo nga oli taata oli maama naye nga amasannyalaze ogabba, ng'ogabba ate ng'oli muzadde. Kakati abaana bo bagenda kubba banka bwe n'olaba nti kwegamba owonye kubanga gwe tusasula amasannyalaze tusasula mazzi okwokusoomooza n'osala ebyuma ng'abaludde eri balinze masannyalaze gabatuukeko naye gwe n'osala ekyuma ebikolimo ebyo eby'abantu abo abali mu nzikiza ebyo ebikolimo eby'abantu abafudde mu malwaliro kubanga wasaze ekyuma amasannyalaze ne gavaako nga baliwo ali mu siyeta alongoosebwa ebikolimo ebyo tukyalina okusoomooza okwo ate byo eby'obugagga obw'omu ttaka kampuni ya Uganda already weeri egenda okutuyamba okufuba okulaba nga gavumenti ekola bizinensi n'abo abagenda okujja okuyiikuula ebyobugagga obw'omu ttaka Uganda National Mining Company. Twongedde mu maaso okutangaaza n'okukozesa ebyuma bikalimagezi okulaba nga tumanya ekyo ekiri wansi. Era bwenjogerera kati nga maapu egenda kufuluma eraga ebyobugagga obw'omu ttaka bye tulina wano mu Uganda. Tusendyeyo na Karamojja, mujjukira nti n'abantu baffe baafa. Akaramojja abamu ab'empisendi baabakuba amasasi ne tufiirwa abantu baffe nga bali ku mulimu ogwo ogw'okulaba nti entangaazo zitangaaza okumanya obugagga obuli mu ttaka bwenkanawa. Maapu eyo tugenda gitongooza ng'ennaku z'omwezi 3 omwezi guno gwennyini ogwa January nga tuli Karamojja. Awo nno twongere okunnyonnyola abantu naddala bano banneekolera gyange mu byobugagga obw'omu ttaka abo abasima mukono ku mukono abaludde mu bintu ebyo. Etteeka litugamba kiseera kituuse nabo bafune layisensi zaabwe naye nga tubateeseteese bulungi. Era tulina projekiti gye tuliko esobodde okuwandiisa abantu abo ba artisanal miners 5,119 abo abasobodde okwewandiisa bali mu 5,000. Tukyayongera mu maaso okubawandiisa kubanga twagala bakole omulimu nga bagoberera amateeka. Tulina okwongera okubakunga n'okubasomesa. Era ekinatwala e Karamojja nga tutongoza maapu ey'obugagga obw'omu ttaka okwongera okwogera nabo. Bw'ozuula ekyobugagga awo gold nga waali oba mubadde musimye entaana muziika kiki ekiddako. Bwe tutabalunganya abantu 3,000 bayinza okubeera mu kifo kimu ekyo. Ab'Ennamayengo gold baamufuna nga basima ntaana kuziika ne ba gold waali omufu tebamuziika, ne basima awalala gold waali ne batamuziika, ne batambuza omufu. Uganda zaabu. Essaawa yonna abantu baba bali mawano kitanda bayola buyuzi we bati omuntu buno si gold. Ate balina obumba bwabwe bannayuganda bagezi balina obumba bwabwe agenda okulaba kati oyo gold. N'olwekyo tulina okubalungamya. Era omwaka guno nziza okubategeeza mu bimu bye tweyagaliramu tubikoze tulungamizza abantu abo. Ate n'abalala baagala okuyingira Sectoral. Amawulire amalungi gali nti kakati tokyannoonya kundaba mu face ompa application. Ogenda ku mutimbagano n'okola application yo. Ekyo nno kikutaasa okutambula n'osevinga esente zo. Ekyo nakyo tukyenyumiririzaamu kubanga twabisuubiza mu manifesto ya NRM. Twenyumiriza nti tubifunye. Bukyanga lubanga lwa mingi tutandise okulabira ddala nga ebyobugagga byaffe tubigattako omutindo nga ekyobugagga kye bayita tiini. Munannyamba bwe wabaawo akimanyi mu Luganda ambuulire. Tiini tulina bamusiga nsimbi kati smelting basaanuusa the right word. Basaanuusa ebiyinja ebyo ne batuukira ddala ku muwendo ogwo ku mutindo ogwo nga kye bajjeemu okiteeka wali ne bakolamu eccupa ne bakolamu endebe ne bakolamu naye olw'okubanga ministries zaffe industries zaffe amakolero gaffe tetunnagala bagakozesa ebyo bye basaanuusizza n'abakkiriza okutunda ebweru tiini oyo gwe basaanuusizza paka nga tufunye amakolero aganaamukozesa. Era omwaka guno twenyumiriza mu sekita eno ey'obugagga obw'omutaka nti tuluŋŋamizza ku muwendo n'omutindo ogwa minerals ezimu nga vermiculite, ebyo babikozesa mu agriculture, mu langi, mu kuziyiza omuliro. Kati batwala ebweru nga bamaze okuteekako obutindo ku level eyo gyetwa bannassayansi baffe gye baatugambye 93%. Oli tiini ye ali ku 9.9 n'obutundutundu 85 kumpi 10%. Ate ye gold 9.9 n'obutundutundu 9.9 bamukolera wano Uganda. Tubuzaako obubuza kukola sambadde gold. Tubuzaako obubuza kukola mpeta bikomo kiki. Era gavumenti eteekateeka Bank of Uganda yalagirwa dda batandika okugula gold oyo tuterekemu ensimbi za Uganda. Mujja very soon kulaba bullion vans naye nga zeetikka gold. Era tugenda nakwongerako omutindo iron ore n'ebirala. Naye tulabye nga n'ensimbi tutegezezza eggwanga nti n'ensimbi ze tujje kati nga mu iron ore zeeyongeddeko eziva mu misolo. Luli twali ku obuwumbi nga 16 obwa ssente za Uganda mu misolo egyo. Naye kaakati ripooti nti obuwumbi 25 obwa ssente za Uganda. Tweyongeddeko omutindo. So tujja kwongera okulungamya naye nga mu by'obugagga obw'omutaka twongera okulungamya ku licenses ennene ezo. Twagala tulabe mwaka ogujja nga bannaffe abawagagaayi batandika okufulumya gold. Twagala tulabe aba rare earth nga batandise okutufulumiza ebiva mu rare earth. Bikulu nnyo tubyetaaga mu tekinologiya, mu kompyuta n'amasimu. Gold oyo tumulina. Ebyobugagga bw'omutaka tulina bingi. Twagala tubikozese. Kati bwe ngenda ku kyamafuta tuyiikuula. Bw'ogenda n'olaba ekireetire nga tuli mu kuyiikuula bannaffe aba Total bakayiikuula enzizi 93 ku nzizi 150 ze twetaaga okulaba amafuta gaffe agasooka. Naye ng'enzizi ze balina ziwerera ddala 426 ng'aba Total. Naye bayiikuula. Mu kuyiikuula omwo bawadde abaana emirimu. Sente zitandise okuyingira mu ggwanga nga tetunaba na kukwata ku mafuta. Ne bannaffe aba Kingfisher ate nabo bakoze omulimu gwa ttendo. Ku nzizi 17 ze balina okuba nti basimye tulyoke tulabe amafuta. Bakagendako enzizi nga 13. So tulabanga bayiikudde. Bo omulimu gwabwe bagukoze batuuse ku 7.6 ku 10. Aba Total bali ku 62 ku 10. N'olwekyo ripooti yange eraga progress nti tuyingizza obuwumbi bwa ssente mu mafuta nga tetunnaba na kulaba ku ttondo ly'amafuta. Naye nga tulina essuubi ku nzizi zonna ezo ze basimye Etirenga ne Kingfisher zonna batugambye zirimu amafuta. Abantu abalala bayiikuula ng'eriyo mpewo. Amafuta gatambudde okuva lwe mwagazuula mu 26 ogenda okugasima mu 2025 oba 2024 osanga nga galiko gaserengese dda. Naye agaffe nga bwe baagazuula abantu baffe bwe gali ago mawulire malungi. Era amafuta ndipooti nze nti twakkiriziganya agamu gagenda kulongoosebwa mu ddongoosezo ly'amafuta naye amalala tegajja kulongoosebwa, gajja genda nga ku luutu gafulume. Omudumu ogwo ogwa kilomita 1,443 ogwo omudumu gugenda mu maaso. Buli twali tumanyi ebitundu 6 ku 10 bijja kuba bbanja, bitundu 4 ku 10 zibenga ssente zaffe. Naye abalyolyomira ensi eno Mukama abasaasire, kubanga babadde tebatwagaliza kukola bizinesi n'emu ey'amafuta, tusigale nga tuli baddu baabwe. Naye Katonda ali naffe, era omudumu guno gutambula, era pipes eziweza kilomita 10 zatuuka, era tuba tubuzaayo pipes za kilomita 443. Era ne kolero erigenda okusabika pipe zino, kubanga baatugamba amafuta mugenda gookya, kubanga makwafu mulina okugabugumyako, ate eri ebbugumu ligenda kukosa obutonde bw'ensi. Koffe kale tujja kusabika emidumu egyo, temujja kyagala leeya ezo 3, ate tuteeke wansi ddala, tutambula bulungi, tugenze mu maaso. Gavumenti ya Uganda etaddemu ssente endala, ne ba shareholders abalala bataddemu ssente endala. Tulabe nga ku luudo oyo naye tumufunamu essente, kubanga omutambuza tugenda kufuna ssente buli mudumu, buli balo $12.7, transport tariff tugenda kugabana nga ba shareholders. So omudumu tutambula, ettaka twalifuna saidi ya Uganda, era turegistarinze eti 9 ku 10 twasasula dda. Abatannaba kusasulwa buyinza okuba mukyalimu obuzibu bwa ani anakwata ssente, absent landlord n'ebirala, naye nga tutambudde bulungi. Enteekateeka endala eri critical gye njogeddeko yeddongoosezo ery'amafuta gano. Twamala emyaka 4 n'emyezi 9 tuli mu kwetooloola, abantu ne batulimba, abantu ne batudikampeininga, tulowooza tunaafuna anatuteekamu ensimbi, bali mu kwetooloola kubanga tebaagala mafuta, banka ne zitwepena nga zitudduka ng'abagenge. N'olwekyo endagaano bwe yaggwako ne tugamba katuggulewo, alina ensimbi ajje, alina ensimbi n'atuuka. Era kampani eyo ya Alpha MBM LLC eva mu UAE tubadde mu nteeseganya nabo. Era bwe njogerera kkooti eno esooka eya 2025 tugenda kusayininga endagaano zonna nabo ezeetaagisa, nga kuliko n'endagaano egamba nti crude tujja kumubawa, crude oil supply agreement tujja kumubawa. Manyi business, you can't take chances. So ezo n'endagaano tujja kuzisayininga, naye ng'essente tugenda zeenoonyeza, tetujja kwewola. Tugenda eri mu maketi, katwereereremu naffe tulabe nga eddongoosezo eryo tulikola. Eddongoosezo ligenda kujja n'emikisa emirala. Industries amakolero mangi, tulina ekibangirizi kye twasalako eyo, the industrial park, era naye etambula bulungi okulaba nti amazzi bagateekateeka we ganaava okusaplayinga, era n'ebinaava mu ddongoosezo amakolero ago ganaayimirirawa. Tugenda kulaba ne services endala nga zijja, mawoteeri gajja kujja, kubanga eriyo ne airport ey'okubiri, ekisaawe ky'ennyonyi ekiri ku mutindo gw'ensi yonna ekyokubiri, omukisa gw'okuvumbula amafuta gwakitaddewo, era kibulako obutundutundu butono nnyo okuggwa. Jeno Katumba Wamala yavunaanyizibwa ku kisaawe ekyo, naye nze kyagala nnyo kubanga kigenda kundeetera ennyonyi ezigenda okuleeta byeneetaaga mu mafuta. Tulabye nga bannayuganda beeteeseteese era bafunye emirimu, waliwo n'abagenda okwongera okufuna emirimu, kubanga abantu bonna bajja kulya emmere. Oba teweeteeseteese, eyeeteeseteese ajja kutunda emmere. Tulabye nga ekitongole ekya ba tourists abalambuzi nga nakyo omukisa guno ogw'okuzuula amafuta nga nakyo kiganyuddwamu, kubanga ekyo ekisaawe ky'ennyonyi ekyokubiri kiri mu kitundu abalambuzi kye beetaaga. Kati bwe tukka wano mu mafuta gaffe gano ge tukozesa mu ntambuza yaago, ekitongole kyaffe Uganda National Oil Company kiri mu mitambo, kyaweebwa amaanyi nga tukyusizza etteeka lyaffe mu paalamenti netugamba mmwe muba muyingiza mwekka amafuta. Mujjukira embiriga eyaliwo? Manye ebyo tebijjukirwa, naye nga twakubwa nga twavumwa. Oddira otya amagi n'ogateeka mu kisero kimu? Ne mbagamba nti abatwala amagi e Bulaaya buli ggi baliteeka mu nnyonyi yaalyo. Badde amagi bagateeka mu konteyina ne bagatambuza. Kati n'olwo olugero nti toddira amagi n'ogateeka mu kisero kimu terukyakola kubanga tumanye ensabika y'amagi ne tugatambuza ne gatuuka. N'olwekyo bebi waffe etukoze bulungi. Kubanga wenjogerera nga be baleeta amafuta ago. Era ogwo nagwo omukisa tugufunye mu mwaka guno. Kubanga nazze wano okubabuulira sekita ekoze etya. Amafuta ekisooka tegabuzeeko n'omulundi n'ogumu. Tegabuze nti abantu basimba layini nga bwe tulaba mu nsi ezimu ate ezo nga zirina ku booda nga ku petrol stations ddala amamotoka gasimba layini. Mu Uganda tetusimbye layini. Amafuta petrol stations zeeyongera na bungi kubanga amafuta gayingira. Ekyokubiri, amafuta gagenze gakkira ddala. Jjukira COVID yagawanika kubanga ku border trucks zaali teziyingira ne zeesiba. Amafuta ne gagenda kanaana, amafuta ne gagenda ku 1,000, 1, 2, 9, 7, 6, 5, tuli mu 4 kakati. Ate nze mmanyi omukisa gw'amafuta gano okukka weeguli kubanga ke tukoze bulungi. Etujjiddemu ensaasaanya yonna eya logistics yo ne yeetikka omugugu ne bafuna amafuta ne bagatuleetera. Singa si bannayuganda kwagala kufunamu nnyo. Ago amafuta gaali badde gazzeeyo ku $1 ka lita 307 awo nja kubeera musanyufu singa ganakka kubanze ekibalo kyange kindaga nti mufunamu. Kibalo kyange kindaga mufunamu. Siraba nsonga lwaki amafuta gaddayo ku $1 tegaddayo ku 307. Sirina buyinza kubanga tulimu liberalized economy, ebintu byenoonyeza akatale noki n'emiwendo. Naye ebyo byonna tubituuseeko mu mwaka ogwo 2024. Mukama waffe yeebaze 2024. So sekita etambudde, sekita ekolera wamu, sekita ngazi, sekita emanya nti omu mukono omulala kugulu omulala mutwe byonna bya mugaso omuntu okusobola okutambula. Era singa abantu balekerawo okuyomba mu ministries, singa gavumenti eno efunamu nnyo. Naye osanga entalo mu ministries entalo nga nyingi. Ministry yange teriimu ntalo, era oba oli wa ntalo oti ng'ofuluma ng'otuviira. N'olwekyo olwaleero mu bimpimpi tuzze okubabuulira ebyo bye tuyiseemu, naye ng'ekikulu okulangirira omuwendo ogw'amasannyalaze. Ky'omuwendo gusse, gavumenti yefiiriza obuwumbi 155 okussa ebbeeyi. 155. So ekyo kye tugenze nakyo, era mbabulidde bye tuteeseteese okukola. Amaaso ku lutimbe, mulabe nga twongera emitimbagano gy'amasannyalaze, mulabe nga twongera okomissioninga Nyagaaka 3 nga bwe mbimenye bwebityo besijja kuddamu kumenya kubanga obudde bugenze. Naye era nga bwe tubadde nga tukola kati tujja kujjanga nga tulipotinga sector by sector. Olwaleero tubiripotinzeeko byonna, naye tujja kwongera okuripotinga naddala ekyokulondoola umeme bwewummula n'ekiki ekiddako bannayuganda bakitunuulidde. So tulina okukomawo okwongera okubannyonnyola Mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala. Omwaka omulungi.
No. 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 No question.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. For the first time, the reporters are satisfied. No questions.
Just have a picture.
Energy sector players, please join the Honorable Minister for the picture. That picture should make rounds as the best performing ministry in the country.
And you provide when you provide.
Maliriza. Okay. Thank you so much. Amina. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. I'm going to start the colleagues, there are some refreshments in the big boardroom, but we still have some logistics to handle.